Next up from the Paint Slinger, Blackstone Fortress from Warhammer Quest. See you in the workshop. Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna continue on with the Blackstone Fortress set that we've been doing and what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish building the heroes today, and maybe get started on painting some of those fellers. So we're gonna go back into the instruction manual here because we don't want to put them together weird, and we are gonna go on to the last two characters. I've pretty much put everybody else together, so it's just on to the last two characters, and the last two characters are actually kind of interesting. They were not really removed, but they were removed as a playable army some time back, and those are the Ratlings. Basically, they're like space dwarves. They're just little fellers that they're part of the Imperium. So we're going to cut out the parts that we need. And so we need A15, A16, no, yeah, sorry, 13 and 14. This has been a very interesting set to put together so far. So far all I've done is the heroes, but that's okay. There is a lot to go through. We're going to start with parts 13 and 14, which make up the body of the dwarf. And, that's the dwarf, the Ratling. And as it always is with my workbench, I know where everything is, but I can never find anything when I actually need it. It's the weirdest thing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to scrape the mold lines here, get them out of the way, clean up the miniature a little bit. I'm going to start putting pieces together. And even though, Games Workshop has been doing this for forever, you just can't escape mold lines. So depending on how good you want your miniature to look will determine how much time you spend taking out the most obvious of the mold lines. I mean, you can sit here for hours and take out mold lines and make sure that everything is smooth, filed or scraped flat, and make sure there isn't a mold line to be seen anywhere. I usually just pick out, the most obvious ones, like, across the head or maybe on the cloth. But other than that, if it's the inside of the leg, I wouldn't worry too much about it. But don't be afraid to. I mean, by all means, if you want to, go for it. Clean it right up. actually look quite impressive. Now, most of these miniatures, at least out of the Black Fortress set, are they're a snap together miniature. So it just means that you can glue them together if you want to, and we're going to glue some of it together. But for the most part, you don't have to really glue anything together. It's all nice, tight fit, and you know, once they're together and once they're primed and painted and stuff like that, you're not going to take them apart anyway. But not putting, no, not gluing every little piece together does give you the ability that if you want to possibly pull it apart to get into the smaller areas, smaller details, then you can. For the most part, we're probably not going to do that. Okay. Again, we're going to do just a little bit of flash cleanup on here, or mold line cleanup. But you know what? It's actually not that bad. Maybe clean up the contact points between the sprue and the miniature. GW does try to be smart with where they put the mold lines. They try their best to not get it in the way of like big details and stuff. But sometimes it just can't be helped. Just the line has to go here, and it's up to us as hobbyists, if we wish, to get rid of those lines. Now in this spot here, again, you don't have to glue it, but I would probably recommend it. It might look weird if you don't, or it might come loose if you don't. There are some spots where you just can't help but have to glue together. Otherwise they're just not going to stick well. Or sometimes if you don't pay attention to the instructions. Oh no, it says put those together first. Even though I think I'm doing this wrong. It says the way I'm doing it is right, so. There we go. All put together. Alright, so when we come back, we're going to have all of our heroes put together, and we're going to have them primed, and we go straight into painting. So through the magic of television, what's going to happen is the next time you see all my heroes, they are going to be put together and ready to go. Alright, so we'll see you soon. And boom, just like that. They're primed, ready to go. Okay, but you know, we're not going to do everybody all right now. As a matter of fact, probably not going to finish all 8 of these guys while we're talking about them. So I'm going to just kind of pick one guy and just kind of go with it. So one of the guys that I figure would be one of the most fun ones to do is this fella right here. Let's see. So you can see I kind of, did a little bit of the skin on this one already, but it's got like a big chain sword kind of, or chain thing. Chain sword on a gun with a flamer thing on it. It looks pretty cool. So I figured he'd be the fun one, a fun one to start with. So let's just go for it. What do you say? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the sun. And the sun, we are going to start using I believe it's called Averland Sunset. And the camera decides it doesn't want to pick anything up. But that's okay. Does it work with the... No, yeah, kind of. There we go. Averland Sun. There you go. I'm trying to get that highlight out of there. There you go. Averland Sunset. And that's the color that we're going to base the flames in. So, flames, for some of you out there that may or may not know, the hottest part is always at your base, and then the coolest part is always out at the tips. I did a set of brimstone horrors, which for Zinch Army, and for all intents and purposes, they're flame. But I decided, because they're Zinch, I did it backwards. I did the light on the outside, and I did the dark on the inside, and I thought it was kind of cool. Because hey, it's Zinch, and for those of you who don't know, Zinch he's just kind of messed up that way. Now, it's actually not unheard of that his flames might be backwards, hotter on the outside than colder on the inside. But I don't know if I'm pulling that up or not, but because I'm spending more time looking, at it than I am at my feed, but try to make sure that I keep it down here for all of my devoted watchers, however many there is of you, to watch and see. And for those of you who do watch, I appreciate it, and thank you for tuning in. Flame's already beginning to look pretty awesome. It's all fooshy and stuff. No, I really like painting flame. I like painting flame. I like painting skin. It's, It's a new skill to try and learn. Don't be, you know, things are scary at first when you don't know how, or you know what have you. Oof! Look at that, hey. Pretty decent looking flames coming out of here. Yeah. Don't be afraid to get in there and get messy. Because flame is not... Well, flame itself really isn't that neat. It's kind of all over the place. You know, and that flame's going to fill up that whole area. And then on the back side here, we have, you know, a little flame on his backpack right there. Shh. Have to make sure that we get that too. I'm not worried about the metal around it yet. We'll go back and clean that up. Right now, just kind of, well, for the most part, it's really just blocking in the colors. Or at least blocking in the flame. Well, putting the color of the flame where, see, oh, barely in there, but it's in there. Maybe we'll turn the camera a little bit more this way. There we go. What do you think? So if I'm over here, it's still more centered. Now I've kind of said before that Games Workshop have been producing miniature games for like, ever. They almost have the gold standard on producing miniature games. It's their bread and butter. It's what they do. You know. There we go. It's coming along pretty good. You can kind of see the flame from back there. You know, bring it up, let you guys see a little bit better, a little bit closer what's going on for the flame and what have you. And of course, you know, some people say, hey, why don't you start with the, with all of the bad guys? Why don't you start with the, however many bad guys? I mean, this set has 44 miniatures, and I've put together 8 so far. And I've, I'm beginning to prime and paint those 8 guys, and those are the 8 heroes. So I have, 36 other miniatures. There you go. There you go. See? There it is. You can see the yellow. So that's kind of like the first step of the flame. Just get that yellow. Kind of get that mid color down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a brighter yellow and maybe almost into a white, and we're just going to kind of blend that in, hit the hit the outer side of the flames, or the higher end of the flames, and just kind of build it up. And then when we go closer to the outside of the flames, we will start hitting with oranges and reds, and hopefully it should look pretty cool, or at least I'm hoping it's gonna. But we will see about that. So we can put him aside for now if we want. And there's so many good miniatures right now that I have in front of me to pick from that it's actually hard to pick where I want to go, what I want to do. You know, like this guy right here, I did a little bit on his face, and I did the hand, but it also looks like he's got a mechanical hand. So I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with him yet. I might look at some of the box art and just see how things are. You know, I mean, he's got a servo skull with a gun. That should be relatively easily done. Should be all one color. Should be lead belcher. We're going to move this one over a little bit too. Maybe it'll be... No, I'm still a little off stage, but that's okay. It'll be just fine. Then we have the little rattling guys. Just so much cool stuff to choose from. You know, I have to look through the art book and see if I can get an idea of what color these, you know, everybody is. What their outfit colors are. Like, you know, is it a green for this person? You know, is it a green cloak, a red cloak, yellow, blue? I don't know. Is it molted? Is it... So many things to look at. So, but for now, basically, I'm just going to leave you with it. And when we come back next week, I should be a lot farther along on these guys here, and we'll kind of just pick it up and we'll go from there. See, I'm looking over here, but I need to be right here. You know, I'm too far over. So let me get back in the center of frame here. It's a little better. Well, you know, got lots on the painting table, lots of stuff to do. Next week should be a pretty fun week. Yeah, I'm kind of starting with the heroes, or at least base coloring out the heroes right now, and then I'll start going into building the rest of the guys from Blackstone Fortress by Games Workshop. You know what? I might even just kind of go my own way with the colors, maybe not follow them exact. Kind of, you know, see what I think, what I like. That'd be kind of cool. You know, just because it's painted a certain way in their books doesn't mean it has to be that. Doesn't have to be exactly painted that way, unless, of course, that's what you want. Yeah. So if you join me back next week, hopefully I'll have a good solid amount of these guys started. If not, have them, you know, pretty much finished. Well, let's be realistic. I'm probably just gonna have a good part of them started. I won't have it finished. But then I've got another. What is it? What did I say? 36. Yeah, 44 minus 8. Yeah, 36. 36 miniatures, give or take. 35 miniatures, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 35 miniatures. 35 miniatures for the bad guys that I have to build, prime, and paint too. And of course, we're not going to cover the whole box set on film. I'm just going to cover some of the main guys, and then get the rest of the box finished when I can. So until then, paint safe, everybody, and we'll see you around the workshop.